Jerry? Yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Jerry, and I'm the mentor today. I'm going to talk about program in Python. And all right, let's get started. So here's our plan today. I'm going to introduce the Python, and we will talk about some about very basic data type, then talk about variable, then if statement, and we will do some little project uh, to use practice this if statement. So can can you see my screen?
Yep, I
Okay.
do.
So about Python, the reason we learn Python because it's very simple, it's have very simple syntax, and that's very easy to read and use. As you can see, compared to another program language, Python just needs a very simple, very short code to do the same thing that other language can do. And how the Python work is you type in your source code in a .py file, uh, then it will interpret to compile your code line by line, and that's something will show on your screen. That's how you make a app or a program. So the first thing for all the language, the first thing we need to know is basic data type. So how do we do that? So if you go to this, like, if you go right here to type Python, or no, sorry, IDLE, and you will in this Python shell. And right here we can learn this basic data type. So if you say type sig, oh, well, for the so data type we have three basic, very basic data type, which is integer, float point, and string. And integer is all these numbers. It doesn't matter it's positive or negative. It's all these numbers. And the float point is numbers with a decimal. And even it's a decimal zero, it's also float point. And string is a it's the same that's in the quote. Everything in this quote is become a string. And if you want test set, so go to this Python shell. You can see this called Python 3.8.0 shell. And if you type in type 6, it will show you the data type of this of what you type in. And if you say type 6.1, will give you the float point. So the data type of it is float point. And if we say type hello, and it show in this quote this hello, it's a string. So that's basic data type. So any question for data type?
No, I'm good. It's pretty
Okay,
straightforward.
okay. So then we have a arithmetic operator, just like our math. It's a plus, addition, subtraction, and multiplication. It's the star, which is your shift 8, and the division is this thing, which is shift, then it's a question mark. And the data type of this result is all based on what number you give in. So if you give, so if we check uh, the type of 3 plus 4 integer, if we say type 3.0 plus 4 float point, because some point 3.0 is float, plus the integer is get 7.0, which is float. And the division, so if we have type 4 divided by 2, float point, even, even, even though the answer is 2, but the division is always give you the float point for the data type of your result. And those are some very simple like a math operator. And so there's some cool thing you can do is if you want print some string many times, you can use this time operator. So if I say hello 5, I'll print hello 5 times, and that's the only thing you can do to combine the string data type string and the data type integer. What happen if I do uh, oh, plus 5 will give me an error because this string and the integer cannot work with this plus operator. And the plus and star are only two operators that you can use for string. Others will give you the type error. And the string can work with string by the plus. So if you have hello and plus Jerry, will print out hello Jerry. So string can work with string by this plus operator. Any questions so far?
No, pretty easy.
Okay,
Seems.
then we can speed up. So,
Actually, let's Landon share the screen and try this exercise that you have there.
oh, oh. You want share your screen and try this? Okay.
Very good.
So go to the shell. Yeah. So try all. Oh, that's not. Hello. And try use this to time 5. So give a string, then times some integer. So give a string and times some integer. Nice. So I say you times 8.3. That's a float point, and it's not it doesn't work because you cannot times 0.6 for a string. So only the string and integer can use those math operator. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So Then for the assign a value to a variable. So can you see my screen?
I can.
Okay. So imagine a variable is as a box, and you assign a value to a variable. It's just like a put a value into this box. So we use assignment statement to save value into a variable, which is just this equal sign. So we say x equal to 6. We print x. Print 6 is prints the value which saved in this variable. And you can save anything into this variable. You can say x equal to a float point number, which is you print x, is give you the float point number. And if you say x equal to uh, star, you print x, print a star. Then what happened to this value is uh, when you use a variable in other statement and when you save a new value in a variable, the old value been delayed. So right here, you only have star saving this variable. All these other values will be delayed. So and you can try that in your terminal to see how this work. And is to assign a value is not only to just directly give a number. You can say x equal to 4 times 5, and if you print x, it will give you 20. Okay. Okay, and that's how you assign a variable. Also, right here we can introduce how you input stuff, which is we use a function input. So let's say x is equal to input the how old are you, and input is function, and the string these are the question you are going to ask user, and use whatever a user type in will save into this variable. So if I say 20, and when you print x, you will have this 20 save into this x. But there's one important thing is the things you type, the user type in, the data type of that. If we check type x, it will give you a string, because for this input is actually a function, and for this function, everything that's user type in is going to be string, no matter what you type, float point or integer in this input, it will always be string. If we do the same thing, if we try again, if we do 2.5, the type as is also string. So is there any question so far?
Nope.
So only one important thing is just this thing will get the string, the data type of string, the value of data type of string, and that's thing you need to care for when you do the Boolean expression, and we will talk about that pretty soon. Uh, change a variable could be changed as the code execute, so is what we do here. You can change the value, and but just remember the old one will be delayed. A data type defines the type of data for the variable. So what you type in is going to be the data type of this variable. You type in string, data type of variable is string. I type in float point, data type of this variable is float point. And there could be le lecture value, another variable, or expression. So another variable is, so when you have x equal to 6, you have y equal to x. So you put this value into this x, and this y read the value in this x, which is 6. So when you print y, you get number 6. And tell me what's the data type of y. So y, say type y, we're gonna, oh, what's the result? Landon?
It would be string, right?
No. So when I say x equal to 6, what's the data type of x?
Um, integer.
Integer. Then y equal to x, what's the data type of y?
Oh, so y is equal to integer as well.
Yes, so the data type going to be integer. The reason this x, so we say x equal to input, and you type in number but give you a string, is because this this input is actually a function, and this return a string is always return a string, and that's the only case we know so far that's only return a string. So you just know any value you get from input, it's a string. Otherwise, what the data type of the original value, and you get what's the data type after you assign this value. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So some rules about variable. Uh, they can be they can only include number, letter, and underscore. So if we so you can have my underscore name. That's a val not defined. This is just name error. It says not defined. I need to give a value to that. So I can say my name. Great. Let's work. And let's say number 1. This is a letter and number equal to 1. That's also work. It cannot begin with number. If I say one number, give me syntax error. It's invalid syntax, which you cannot begin with a number for a variable. And it cannot be the keywords. And what keywords is like if, else, the for and the while. All those could not be the your variable, because the program will see these things as a building function or building statement in your program. So if say 4 equal to 1, it's not going to work. And then no special character. So if you say 1, $1 to 12, or $name equal to 12. But you can see this right mark here, it's invalid syntax. You cannot have special character. Only one word, which means you cannot have special. Okay. So as you can see, these are letters, it's valid. Letters follow with number, that's fine. Underscore, it works. You can start with underscore. As long as not start with numbers, it works. You can have this all capital. And the invalid is number only, or start with number, special character, or white space. So you can have a underscore to fill this white space, but you cannot have this white space. And is that
Yeah.
okay? So there are two good practice to do your variable if it's have two words. So if it so if we say also my name, you can say my underscore name. It's very clear, it's two words. Or you can do the uppercase N. It's also very clear that we have it's two words variable. And in this class, I'm familiar with the camel case, which is the second word start with uppercase, and you can use whatever you comfortable with. So camel case, first word lowercase, and start from second word. Every word start with uppercase, and that's a variable. Is there any question?
Now I get it.
Okay. Let's. So if I say number to input, enter a number. So tell me what's the data type of this number. They have a number, then it says input, enter number, and I enter 12. The data, then what's the data type for this variable?
It would be string, right?
Here we go. You got it. If I say a number equal to 12, now what's the type of this
It would
number?
be
Hmm?
integer.
Yes. So number equal to 12 divided by 2. And what's the type of this number? What's the data type for the number right here?
Float, right?
Yes. There we go. You understand all this? That's good. Don't say it. So next one, let's talk about if statement. So, oh no, we need to talk about Boolean expression first. I don't have lecture for Boolean expression, but let's just talk about that. So Boolean expression is just a logical statement that's either true or false. So if I say 5 greater than 6, it's true or false.
False.
Yeah, it's 5 less than 6, true or false.
True.
It's true. So these are called logical operator, and they're greater or less greater, greater equal, less than equal, and the double equal is a double equal is compare. We compare two things, and the single equal is a sign. So just uh, be careful with this double equal when you do the Boolean expression. So if it's a 5, so if it's a 5 double equal 5, let's compare these two numbers, and we will get true because 5 is equal to 5. And true and false, Boolean, that's Boolean expression. And if a Boolean expression, so if statement is so these are the syntax for the if statement. If, then you have something you compare, which is your Boolean expression. If it's true, it's do something. Then else is do something else. Let me show you. So this is a flowchart, and it's very helpful for beginner to organize process of the process of the program. So let's write a program and check is there age greater than 18? If it's greater than 18, they're able to vote. If not, they're too young to vote. Then end of program. So these are the flows of program and how we program these things. So you in the shell, go to the file, then make a new file. Then you will get a new window right here. So so do you get this new window?
Yeah, I have it.
Okay. So let's follow this flowchart and write our program to do this. So first we get input your age. So what do you think we should do first? Oh, actually, I show you this. So we input, and so we input a number, or we input something, save into this age. So we say age, this is your variable, equal to input, and you ask a question to let user know what kind of thing they want to input. So we say, how old are you? So this is your variable. You say, you ask a question, you get input, the value from this input will save into the variable. Then follow this flowchart, it goes here. It's if statement, then it's check is the age greater than 18. So we say if age greater than 18, then this colon, it's a part of syntax. You have to have this. Just be careful with this, don't miss it. So if age greater than 18, and if it's true, it will do this. So the first statement after that is going to be your true set. So if it's true, it will output you can vote. So how to output is print. We say you can vote. And this is what going to happen if age is greater than 18. But what's gonna happen if it's false? If it's false, we say else. So anything if anything other than age greater than 18, so age least equal than 18, we say else. Careful this colon, and we print you are too young to vote. And we finish this part. Is end of program. So let's save this and go to this wrong and run module. And if you type a number, how old are you? Let's say 20. I'll give you a syntax, which is age greater than 18. Then why is happen? Because what's the data type you get from input? So
String.
what string? You are comparing string and the integer, which is not allowed. It says not supported between the integer and int, the integer and string. So how you make this string into integer? We say int, and we give it a parenthesis. So we convert this string into an integer. And now if we save this and run this module again, if we say 20, give us answer, and there is no syntax. So that's a thing I said you need careful with this give you the data type of string, the value of this variable. The data type of value or of this variable is a string. So when you compare this with integer, you have to convert this into integer. If it's a float point, let's say 18.5, then you can say float age. So you're comparing float with float. That's going to work. If I say 19.5, this works because it's a float point compared with float point. Let's see if we have int, we'll do that. Numbers can work with each other. Interesting. So the numbers can work with each other, but the number cannot compare with string. So do you have this? Are you coding with me?
Yeah.
Okay, so any question?
Nope.
Okay, so then let's do a simple program, a simple calculator. So what's this? So what this calculator do is, so you begin, you start your program. Well, let me just use this. You start your, so we start our program. So, and we get input. So number 1, call this num1. Then we got other input, call this num2. And we show a menu. So the things in menu is, first, if they press 1, it's addition, press 2, subtraction, press 3, multiplication, and press 4, division. That's our menu. Then we ask what the user want to do. Other input, and OP, ask for option, which is the user will press in 1, 2, 3, 4 for different things for this to do for this calculator. And so after that, if user so if option to 1, then we add so result is equal to num1 plus num2. The else if, so this is your true set, and the false side else if option equal to 2, and we do result equal to 1 subtract 2 or num2, and so on. So for if it equals 3, then it's a multiplication. If it's equal 4, it's division. And let's try to program this. So can you share your screen, and you try to do that? I lead you how to do this.
Do you want to put up the instructions again so you can follow? Yeah.
Uh, so let's So let's start your program. First, you get input from user, and it's you assign this value into a variable called now number 1. So first, yeah, you give it num1. You need a parenthesis. So let me use this. So first you have variable, and we say input. This is function, so we use parenthesis instead of colon. And in there, ask question. So tell user what to do. Enter a number. And the same thing for your number 2. 2, yeah. Equal input. Okay. So, and 3, we show a menu. Oh. And we show a menu. Then what's a menu? First, if the user type in 1, then it's addition. 2, subtraction. 3, multiplication. 4 is division. So this is print. It will print out this. It will print out this menu. So as you can see, if we run this, it will show these options by only print out this line. Okay. So we show the menu, we got other input to let user input their option. So they want to do 1, 2, 3, or 4. That's other option. That's other input we will get. Okay. So then we goes into the if statement. So for the if statement, say it's a start from beginning, you should not indent. Yeah. The if op. So for me, I call this variable option. You can use sign, but just be careful. So if you use sign, say sign, yeah, double equal 1. And 1 is addition. We need to add these two numbers. Then, well, how we add those two numbers and save the value into a variable called the result. If I say result, and first one is addition, how we add those two numbers, how we, yeah. Yes. So this is the first. If it's true, if it's equal 1, let's do this. Then if something else, so if it's equal to 2, so we say else. There's no space between these two lines. Yeah. Sorry, it's elf, which means else if. But in Python, it's just short this thing. So elf, the second thing, option equal to 2. Yeah, sign double equal 2. Yeah, you missed something. There we go. And second one is subtraction. More subtract. Good. And then just so on to let's finish the rest of them. You can have multiple elif. So elif. Okay. So we covered all this option. Then what if the user enters something is not for any of this? So for the error check, we say else. And because the program will check all this, then we don't need any Boolean expression for else. It's covered any other cases. So else we say print from input from option. and the user input. Now we need to, for the calculator, after you do this, you need to print out your result. Then how we print out this result. The parenthesis, yeah. So this program is done. And run your program. Save and run this. I think you miss a, yeah, the quote. Yeah. Okay, so see that's a error we got when we talk about input, because the data type of input is string. So you need to convert this string data type into an int, so you can compare with this integer. So yeah, you can do int for all of them. You don't need to do that for your result. So only when you compare things, you say int. So you convert the string into integer in order to compare these two values. And the result, oh, I think, oh yeah. You don't need to do the result, but you need to for these numbers, because these two numbers are string right here. So you need to convert this to string into integer. Okay, you have this for integer. You also need this, convert this into integer for all of this Boolean expression. Okay, so run your program again, see how this goes. Okay, so check all these options, see are they all works. So run your program again. Okay, and try to tap 5, see what's gonna happen. Result is not defined. Oh, I'll print what I want to print. Oh, happen result is not defined. Oh, because you don't have result at this point, so that's gonna be another loop. Never mind. So I mean, it's your program goes through this, but it's now goes through result. It doesn't have any result, and that's what's the error talk about. So you say you do the int. So when you get a value by the input, you need to think about will I use this value as an integer or as a string? I will use value as a number or a string. So you can convert them. You will not miss them. So instead of like you do int for this, int for number, we can make it integer. Num1 equal to int num1. So let's comment all this. So if I print type 1 here, and after I say num1 equal to int num1, let's say what's gonna happen. Let's comment all this. This is common. The program will not run this. Normally we use comment either comment out this. We don't want this part of program to run, so we comment this out. Or you will use comment to give some comment. See, this is get user input for first number. If you have some very big project or you have 1,100 line of code, you will need this comment to remind you what this part of code do. And the program will not run this thing. It's just something that remind you. So if we back to this program, we get input saving to num1, then we convert this num1 into integer. So let's see. So num1 equal to input, then enter number. We enter 12. The first time the data type of num1 is a string. Then we say num1 equal to int num1. So we convert this string into integer. Then we print the type is become integer. Then all this num1 in the if statement are going to be integer. So so we make num1 into integer. Also make num2 number 2 into integer. And same for this option. And make this option into integer because we need this, compare this as an integer. So we can do that. So if we run this program, number 12, number 15, 1, see this program work. So instead of make all this, each of them integer, we convert this integer as the first time when you input your number. So are we able to make this shorter? Yes. So we can also say int, and we don't need this line. This num1, data type of num1, it's still the integer. So the program will read in data, it will get the string, then convert into an integer, then save this value into this variable. And this data type of this variable, it's integer. So this is one way you can do that, convert directly after you get this string value, or you can do that separate, like what we do here. So any question?
Nope. It's
Okay.
good.
Should I keep going or give another project, Fernando?
Yeah, you can keep going. You still have some time.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we have if
Well,
statement.
what you can do is you can introduce with a loop. So if you want to do something for a certain amount of time, like a while loop, a condition.
Can do while loop. Okay. So where's my program right here? So we have this program, and if we run this, oh, it's only run one time, and we cannot run this. So in order to let this program run again and again, so we need a loop, which is a while loop. So for let me find this. There we go. So for while loop, the syntax for while loop is you have while, then you have a Boolean expression. So then you do what you want to do if it's this Boolean question is true. So let's say if we have a choice which is y, then if this thing equal to y, we do this. Then if it not, we'll exit to do this. It's kind of so for while loop. So while say uh, uh, option equal well again equal to double equal yes. So if this is check this statement, if it's true, then this will print O, and if it's not true, it will exit. So the flow chart is like this. And we ask again. So input We have this back to here. So if it false, goes down here. And this will do. So this is a flowchart for this code. So let's say, first of all, you need to have some variable to check. So you need to like type in some variable, you give value to this variable you want to check. So first of all, we say get. So we say n equal to this. And we got this. So if it tries equal to y, then it comes here is check. Is this again equal to y? If it's true, it goes here. Is print out hello. Then you will check it. You will change your variable right here. So in your loop, you need to change your variable in order to give a new value to check. And if it's yes, it's run again. If it's yes, run again until the user inputs something else for this variable, then it will be false. Then it will print goodbye. So, and let's actually code these things. So we have something, have a variable. This is the variable we're going to check. And we give a value, say yes. And it goes into a while loop. So as you can see, second, we goes into a while loop to check, is your variable equal to yes? Let's just change this. I got confused. So while twice double equal to yes, and also you need this colon right here. It's part of your syntax. Then the program will check if it's true, it goes into loop. It will print something or do something you want. So right here we do print hello. And in the loop, so you see this indent, this means you are in this while loop. Then in this while loop, you will get user input to ask on again. So that's we stop here. So if user input yes, it will compare. It's yes equal to yes, that's true, it will do again. Then we'll get user input. So ask user run again. If user input no or anything else rather than yes, this Boolean expression gonna be false. Then we'll exit and we say print I. So if we run this program, because we have a choice equal to yes, so it will run the first time. So it's run the first time. Then we'll ask run again, and I say yes. Print again. Ask run again. I say okay, yes. Again until I type something which is not yes. It will print I, which means X is this while loop. So, end question.
It's good. Okay.
Okay. So just remember for your while loop, you always need initialized, check, and change. You initialize before you goes into this while loop, and you check which your check Boolean expression, and your change at the end of your while loop, you need to change the thing you are going to check. So initialize, check, and change 3-step. There's other thing which is while true. While true means something will keep running. So let's see. Yeah, this one. So let's say this. I say true. Oops. Remember, for true and false, it's always the capital for the first letter, and the semicolon. No, this colon. It's a syntax, a part of syntax of a while loop. And while true, we say print do something. Print hello. If we run this, see it's keep going. It's not gonna stop. And how could we let it stop? We use break. So we run one time and this break. So it goes here, while true, print this, the break will exit this loop, so stop the loop. So it's not very clear. Let's use the example here. So if we say name equal to input or name, say if name is equal to 30, and we break, and we print something, show it's actually stop the loop. So if I type something which is not Jerry, so the program goes in this loop, then we get you get input, what's your name? Then it get name, it will check, is this name equal to Jerry? See, we don't convert anything because it's string compared with string. So we don't need to convert into integer or float point. And this check, it's a string, it's a name equal to Jerry. It's not. So it will not do the break. So it's a come back to this loop, do again. If I type in GRY, it will break. It's because Jerry is Jerry, of course. Then it's do the break, stop this loop, and come back to come out of this loop and print a by, as we can see here. So it's kind of do the initialize, check, and change, because you initialize here, you check right here, and you come back, you change, and you check until you end this loop. That's the break. So it's help you end your program. So any question?
Nope, I got it.
And okay, cool. We don't need continue yet. So let's back to our calculate program. Then let's do this. Let's make this. Let's use a while loop to make this code run again and again until you want to stop. So it's important to decide where we want this start and when we want this stop. So tell me what you think where we should start, where we should add this well. True.
At before the if statement.
Before if statement. Let's try. Oh, we have well. True. And remember, you need an indent. So select all this, click tab. So all these are in this loop. Let me see. Okay. Here. So every time you want get to new numbers or different numbers. So the first question is, do you want this to use these two numbers to do addition, subtraction, multiple, and divide, or you want use new number every time? That's something that's very optional. So you can decide either way.
It would be better if you select different numbers for number 1 and 2.
Select different numbers. Okay. So if you decide that every time we will use different number, so the user input should in your while loop, because every time you get different number. So we move this into your while loop. We got number, and wait, let me think. Input, what do you do? Option. So let's see what's this gonna happen. So it's asked for option first. So what you want to do first, you say we want add two numbers. It doesn't print out result. Say why is not print out result? Because we don't have this indent. So it's not part of while loop. So we indent this result as part of this while loop. So let's try again. Got 12, give you 4 of 31. Let's do that. So here, right now, we got problem is this program will never exit until you click this close. But there is no option we can close it, and there's no option we can do other than add. So remember when we say we need to initialize, check, and change. So we initialize this, it's do this first one, but it's never change. So we need to make a change right here. So it's the same thing. The same thing we do here. So your program comes here, ask your first option, get two numbers, do what you want these two numbers to do at the first time. Then it will print result, and it will say, okay, I do the first one. Then what you want to do now? What's your second option? Then you will say, okay, 2 or 3, 4. It will come back here to check this. So we have 1, enter number, 12, 12. It give you result, and we'll ask you what you want to do again. So I say, okay, I want to subtract, and I get 12 and 12. Wait, what? Oh, here. Okay, seems like we got some bug. We want to do option.
You misspelled input.
Which one?
Landon, sorry, not you.
Oh.
You put employee
Where?
on your code. You were just typing it. Yeah, it says employee. It says input. Yeah.
Thank you.
Do I keep?
What are you looking for, Jerry? Sorry.
So why always get?
Why are we skipping?
It's the result doesn't change. Get confused.
Because you're entering the same thing. Oh, one is addition, the other is subtraction.
Yeah.
Oh, your second, you have double equal sign. It should be one equal sign. It says result equals num minus 2. No, second one. After, yeah. Same thing for the other ones. Yeah, it's just one equal sign. Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Thanks. Let me see your code. Well, so well true. We print this. We got option. We got two numbers. Then we goes into this loop. So if we run this, you can do this again and again. Yeah, but we don't have something can like exit this program. Then what we can do is change right here, else. So what we can do right here is for any other options we break. So your program will exit this loop and come down to say to show to do something else. Oh, true. Print result. Let me see your error. Oh, you type in ye, but ye cannot convert to the integer. So if you type any other numbers, it will break. So run your program. And type in 5 and enter two numbers. Type in 5. Yeah. So you see after break, you don't need you just need the print result. You don't need anything else. And yeah, you don't need that print. You don't need that print valid option. Yeah. So what's this program? What's this do is, so you type in your option and type in two numbers. It will check what option you type in. Is if you type anything else, it will break. So it will break this loop, this whole loop start from while true until last one, and it will break, it will come out. If you need this print result, because if it is 1, 2, 3, or 4, result will have a value in there. So you need the print to show your result. So if we run this, it will show wrong option input, is means exit this program. So does it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. If I can give you another program, you can. So I think that's enough for today.
Yeah, that I was gonna tell you. If you want to just quickly review what you did today, and then yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
So let's review this. Where's my list right here? So first, why we why we learn Python? It's very simple. It's very easy compared to another, like a higher level language. It just needs very short code to do the same thing that other language can do. And what you do is you type in your source code into a .py file. So as you can see, the name at the top, you have the name.py. This is .py file, and all these are your source code. And your Python will interpret this, which means your Python will compile this line by line. So it's not compare everything as one. It's compare. It's compile this line by line, each line out of time. Then it goes out this virtual machine. Then it shows on your system. That's that's Python. And we talk about the basic data type, int, float, and string. And do you remember how we check the data type? What function we use to check the data type?
I mean, what command?
What command we use?
Type,
So we
right?
can, yeah,
Hmm.
we can use type, and the variable, the value, the number you want to check the data type of what you type in. And basic data type, integer, float, string. String, anything in this quote or string. And the float point, anything with a decimal, integer, any number without decimal or integer. And we talk about plus, subtract, multiple, and division. You get result. Just remember the division gets a float point. is always the data type. The result of the division is always the float point. Then only the plus and the addition and multiplication can work with string and numbers. Others does not work. And we assign a value to a variable. You give this value to this variable. If you assign a new value, the old value will be delayed. So when you save a new value in the variable, the old value will be delayed. And we talk about the rules for the variable. It can only include number, letter, and underscore. It cannot have a special character and cannot use keyword and cannot begin with number, as we show here. If you have one variable which have multiple words, you can either use underscore or camel case, which the first character of your first word is lowercase, and the first character of like following words are uppercase. That's a data type and the variable. And remember the input function is always return the string data type of string. So if you want use this as another data type, you need to convert this into either int, float, something else. That's how you convert this data type. And that's this. Then we talk about if statement. These are the syntax of if statement. It's all based on you can only have if statement, that's fine. It's depend on how many things you want to compare, you want to check. And that's if statement. We did a program for that. For loop, we not talk about for loop yet, but the while loop, well, then you check something. If it's true, you do some statement. Like we do here, you have truth equal to y. You check this. If it's true, we do something. Then we get another value for this choice. If it's true, do the same thing again. If it's not y, then we will exit this loop. And we talk about break. Break is something help you stop the loop to exit this loop. So we use that in our program, and you see how this work. When you type in anything other than 1, 2, 3, 4, this will break this while loop and do something that's out of the while loop. And if you want this while loop keep running, we just say while true, and since in this loop will keep running until you get to the break. That's everything we covered today. Do you have any question?
Nope, that just covers it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us, Landon, and hopefully we'll see you next time. All right. Thank you, guys. You can stop recording.
Okay. All right, stop record. Wait. Trying to find that. Right here.